Okay. Here is Rabisheikh.
All right, first I want to start off with the blowing of the shofar. And next I want to present to you the standard of Judah. While they're displaying the standard behind me, I want to know who in this room wants their birthright and inheritance. I am standing before you today because of my birthright. And I want you to understand exactly the difference between a birthright and your inheritance. Your birthright is because of who you were born. But your inheritance is stipulated by a trust. A trust is held by a trustee to be administered at a specific time.
That's right.
Is that understood?
Yes, that's correct.
Also, a secondary stipulation upon your actions based upon your forefathers' designation. Do you understand what that means? It means your forefathers said, when they do X, Y, and Z, they will get the fullness of all that I have promised them. Is that understood? Now, I hope you are recording this because everything I am saying must go out to the nations. So when I was stopped from speaking yesterday, I was happy because I would have had to ask the Negev publicly to pardon so everyone could film this. Because at the end of my speech, I'm going to give you access to your trust accounts, which of the information I hold. Is that understood? Now, I'm going to now go into my speech about what I came to, who I am, because up until now, nobody has ever asked. I've just been Gidon, the brother, with Sheikh Aid in training. So, before I begin about who I am, I have to give you some stipulations about how to give someone their trust accounts, so you understand. So first things first, we all talk about a law, but did you know that there is a specific law we are given to follow?
Okay.
So, I am going to, read the law specifications about the law we are to follow. Of course, this has no bearing on your trust accounts. This is just information as to how I ascertain and access them. Deuteronomy chapter 13, verses 9 and 10. 31. Deuteronomy 31, verses 9 and 10. And Moshe wrote this law and delivered it to the priests, the sons of Levi. Well, the sons of Levi, Kohanim, you here?
Okay.
Okay. Who bear the ark of Yahweh, I'm saying Yahweh, but Yahweh's covenant, and to all the sages, the Sapharim of Israel. And Moshe commanded them, saying, at the end of 7 years, hold on. Back up. Wait, where am I reading? 31, 9. Did I write that right? I think I wrote it right. That's not the line. Wait, no, don't pause it. Keep recording. It's okay, I make mistakes. Take this, and he gave those who bear the ark, and told unto them, and said unto them, Take this law and place it in the side of the ark, that it may be a testament unto you. So, who are the Levites who bear the ark?
Kohathites.
Does anybody know?
Kohathites.
The Kohathites. Which family?
Aharon.
No.
Eliezer.
Numbers 3 and 30. The rab shall be Elzaphan bar Uziel. Their charge, the ark, the table, the candelabrum, the altars, the vessels of the sanctuary wherewith they minister, and the veil, that which pertaineth to its service. I'll leave that thing out. Why is this important? There is only one Uziel Targum in all the world. Only one. Jonathan ben Uziel, the great scribe, who stayed in the house of Yirmiyahu, was the scribe that finalized this Targum translation before he passed, and he was the uncle of King David. If you don't have a copy of this text, everything else has been altered in minor ways and in some major ways. Case in point, Isaiah passed on to Elisha his mantle. No, he passed his mendil. This covering that the sheikhs wear upon their head. Why was it changed to be a shelf to be placed over a fireplace?
Mantle.
He gave him his mendil. Small alterations to the text due to lack of understanding of culture slowly perverts over time. And you give it 2,000 years and you end up where we are today. Why am I here? My birthright says I'm supposed to make a connection. 3 days ago when this summit started, there was a new moon, am I correct?
Okay.
That new moon caused a solar eclipse at 7 o'clock in Saudi Arabia. Isaiah chapter 13 specifies that when you see this sign, Yahweh says, I am coming to redeem you. You can read the chapters for yourself. Chapter 2 of Joel specifies this same sign. Who knew that? Raise your hand. Interesting. It also reveals that I will be speaking to you at this time. If you had the Uziel Torah Tanakh, then you would have read those specific details. My brethren, this is my brother Aliako. He is the descendant son of Hilkiah. And this is my brother Pinchas. He is also a descendant son of Aharon, son of Pinchas. Without these two, I would be unable to render to you that which is yours today. And you will see it in your trust account tomorrow. Is that understood? Good. Now I'm going to continue with just reading about who I am. Hopefully I got your attention. I wrote a book. Thanks to the advisement of my elder brother, Artur Kazriel. Sorry. I'm sorry. Don't forgive me. You know. It's my brother. I love him very dearly. I wrote a book. This book is not talking about what we need to do moving forward. I'm just being honest. It's about who I am, what I've done, and what I hope and plan to achieve moving forward. You will see my family connections, my lineage, my genealogy in this book. So, let me start. It's very short too. It's only 43 pages. That's it. This is short. 40, and that's front backs included on each one. All right, I'm Rabisheikh Gidon, and let me just be clear about what I'm not. I am not a political leader. I don't do politics. I'm not a spiritual leader. I don't do that. I don't preach. I'm not a preacher. I am a military leader. This is the only training I have had all my life. My grandfather was a Tuskegee Airman, and we grew up military for 3 generations. So I understand order, discipline, and instructions. That is all. All right, blessings and honor to my Sheikh, Sheikh Aid, my teacher. Sheikh is of the sons of Midian. He is listed in Chronicles chapter 1, the Abida family. Those of you who may not know, again, I'm sharing this with you for your historical records. My story is about my history, my life, and testimony, and yet the truth is, it is not about me. It is about you. Making the connection. I'm going to walk through my life over the last 6 years and point out a few highlights and key people. If you are here, when I point you out, just say Cain. Now we're going to begin with the definition. A name, Hashem. A name is an identifying marker or classification to simply identify someone or something. Okay. Everybody here is called by more than one name. Good. We all know Pookie Ray Ray in them. Good. So, I'm going to start with my great-great-grandfather, King Jaja. King Jaja, also known as Jubal Juboga, translated into Hebrew, Obed Obadiah.
Yes.
Mbanaso Ozurumba, the son of Zerubbabel. That's exactly what Mbanaso Ozurumba means. King of the Igbo people. Kidnapped 2 times by the Queen of England, as said by my brother, Bishop Obu, yesterday. He was exiled to St. Vincent, where he was assassinated. My family fled into America, into New York City, Chicago, North Carolina, Texas. Me standing here today, I am filming this for their behalf, that justice has been served and the cycle has been completed.
Hallelujah.
Now you say, what justice? We have not punished the wicked yet. The entirety of the point of the assassination was to keep us divided. And here we stand united. Justice has been served. This is 122 years ago to the day. 4 generations in captivity. 6 years ago, I was awoken in my spirit and I heard one of my names. The name you are most familiar with, Gidon, Hewer, Cutter. But cut what?
Hear what?
Hear what? I'm here to cut something.
To the quick.
To the quick. My grandmother named me Ashanti, mighty warrior. My father named me David, beloved. My family calls me Mel, short for Melech. My sheikh named me Jadur, and my title, Rabisheikh, means chief ruler, sultan, king, wise man. But in the Torah, in the Tanakh, I am not the first Rabisheikh. The first Rabisheikh was Jehu. It is listed in the Chronicles of Kings when the kingdom split. Yes. He was first called Rabisheikh.
Careful.
The other Rabisheikhs before him, they were all military leaders. Moses was a Rabisheikh. They called him Rabboni. David was a Rabisheikh. Rabisheikh means cupbearer or servant of the king. When David was Rabisheikh, he served under Saul.
Right.
It means you come from a military background. How does my sheikh know? This is an interesting question, because I ask it a lot. But this is not my name by heritage. It's not my heritage name. For that, I need to make some connections. Upon awakening, I swore an oath to the Most High that I would keep His law and follow His instructions the same way I follow my engineering instructions, because I'm an engineer and a mechanic by trade. I specialize in jet aircraft engines and bodywork. There is no room for error in this line of work, as one mistake and the plane comes straight out of the sky. This began with a dream in which I saw 3 angels. They gave me a scroll and said, read. The language I couldn't identify, but I read it with clarity and understanding, and this began my journey. On May 22nd, 2016, upon knowing the alignment of the stars, I went to the UN, where I was with Ali Akin, and I met him there. Upon giving them my military ID, we gained access, and we fought for reparations and repatriation back to Africa with friends of the African Union, a division of the African Union in the United States. This is documented on my Facebook page, and I share it freely and openly because my page is public. In August 13, I exited out of America with 4 instructions. Go to Tel Arad, the city of David, and wait. Ask for the ancient ways, the customs and traditions of Abraham. If any man tells you not to keep the Torah or speaks against it, the light is not in him, do not follow him.
Not on.
And my mom said, when you get over there, make sure you ask about your grandfather, King Jaja. Okay, Mom. I accept. Honor your father and mother. I arrived in Israel August 14th, and I lived at Tel Arad National Park for 3 months. This created a problem. My first month, while living there, the first person I met at Supersol supermarket in Arad, Nasi Keskiahu. I wish he was here because my relief when I saw him, I cannot explain to you because I didn't know the community even existed when I left. I left from Lake Charles, Louisiana with no idea I have brothers and sisters fighting the righteous fight to try to restore the kingdom. I didn't know. He introduced me to Dimona, you all, the community, and I love you all very dearly.
Likewise.
I asked him my 4 questions, but he didn't have the answers. In my second month, I was introduced to Sheikh Aid. Sheikh Aid told me about the Bedouin tribes, and he's an Ishmaelite, and he's never been a slave, and they've never left the land for thousands of years since Abraham. And how the Bedouin can just look at you and tell which tribe, family, and people you are just by looking at you. So I decided to test them. Sheikh, who am I and what tribe am I? Sheikh laughed. He says, you my tribe. You Tedabee, the sons of Terah. You are the son of a king. Okay, Sheikh. You all in my business now, so I'm going to go on and ask you the second question. Do you know the Abrahamic customs and traditions? He says, yeah. Can you teach me? Sure, sit right next to me. I have been sitting next to my sheikh ever since.
Hallelujah.
Sheikh said to me, listen to me. What I'm going to tell you is very important. You must be a walking Torah, and I will be the walking Quran.
Hallelujah.
It was at this moment, sitting in that spot, that empty spot right there, where I saw my sheikh's light fill this whole room as bright as it could be. He gave me an old Palestinian targum with a wooden cover and said, this is your book. This is your Torah. That Palestinian targum had 2 Torahs in it. One from Ankylos and the second from Jonathan ben Uziel. I read the whole thing in a month. Detailed, lined out verses, instructions, like I did my engineering manuals. And then I separated the 2. I placed the Ankylos to the side because he was a Roman convert. And I accepted the instruction of only Uziel. This same Uziel, who was described to my great-grandfather David. So now I had connected to the House of Abraham directly. I have full scriptures with accurate details as well as time to conduct the test. I asked my sheikh if he could help me help my people. He told me, I will help you. You help your people. I'm going to do that today. I'm going to fulfill that. I promise you. Just bear with me. He told me I will help you. Back to Telluride I go. The manager at the national park told me I had stayed for too long at Telluride. And they had forgotten I was there. I had created some legal problems. Under Israel Bedouin law, if you live somewhere past 45 days in tent, you claim that land. I had been there for 60 consecutive days. I came to ask my sheikh for help. My sheikh advised I speak to his attorney, and his attorney gave me a little note that said, do not cross. He gave me a note that said, do not cross the border.
أهلا وسهلا أهلا وسهلا أهلا وسهلا بروحين وبايين.
So he gave me a little paper that said, do not cross the border. This paper signified that I had authority over the land at this time. I had a right, documented with receipts. 2 months of receipts of paying to stay at a national park meant I possessed the land that the national park was on. Legally. But wintertime was coming. Remember, I left in August. It's 2 months. It's now October. It was getting cold. And my sheikh said, you have to move. So off to Arad City I moved, where I met Mama Ghana. Right, Mama Ghana? And her family, her husband. I lived in Arad for a year and maintained the training and mentorship under Sheikh Aid. At the end of my first year, I ended my first year with a new wife, my connection to my family, I met some friends, Brother Gidon. I met, of course, Mama Ghana, but Sasonia and Devrakia. And I was Cohen Beer, Elder Absalom. It was Elder Absalom that actually provided the one thing I needed to even get my house. He wrote me a blank check to cover, the contract. Elder Absalom. Because I was a stranger. And it came out later that somebody said he shouldn't have done it. But Yah has a way of opening the hearts and minds of people to do what should be done so that he can proceed with his plan. At the end of my second year, I had started Sons of the Negev with my sheikh. We had an office. That was 2 years ago. I took pictures with Atul Kazriel. Sorry, Kazriel. Sorry.
That's okay.
Forgive me. But I took pictures with Sar Kazriel. When I met Sar Kazriel, he was Atul. And I have been calling Atul, the whole time like it's his first name. But it's Sar. Atul is just a title. Excuse me, or again, forgive me. So at the end of my second year, I'd begun Sons of the Negev, and Brother Pinchas and Ali came to me here in Seger Shalom. When they arrived on a specific day, at a specific time, where the scripture said, these two men will give you everything you need to be able to give the children of Israel what they need to be free from captivity.
Oh.
Hallelujah.
You're going to catch on here in a second. Brother Pinchas is an expert in trust law from the UK.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Nobody lives in the UK for the scenery.
What's the
Or the weather. The UK is the trust capital of the world. Everything I needed to receive from the trust information, he brought it.
Hallelujah.
While my sheikh gave me a copy of the Torah, I still needed the rest of the Tanakh to complete my instructions, to know how to navigate this last year, to be at the right place at the right times to do the right thing.